Good morning, and welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Urbana-Champaign. My name is Reverend Karen Bush, and I am the consulting lead minister here at UUCUC. And we are delighted to be streaming live to you from our beautiful sanctuary on Green Street. For those of you who've been with us for a while, you might notice something a little different this morning. My neck is tipping up. We are finally finding a way to use our Rood Loft. Our Rood Loft is from now on is where we're going to have our live streaming from, and we're excited about that. So welcome. It is good to be together with the beautiful, sacred variety of individuals that are with us this morning, the many different identities that make each person here unique and vitally important to us. Just you being you, whether at home or with us in the sanctuary. We're so glad you're with us this morning. Our congregation's mission is to build community, to seek inspiration, to promote justice, and to find peace. We are a church of many different theologies. We value deeds above creeds. And we are a church that strives to build community in the here and now. If you want to follow along with the written order of service, you can find that link just below this video on our website. And if you want to chat with your fellow UUCU members, you can find the live stream chat box on our YouTube page. Remember that because we're live, there's still time to make your own contributions to our shared joys and sorrows later in the service. To do that, just email your message to joysandsorrows@uucuc.org. You'll be hearing a little bit about this later in our Community Matters, but also this potentially is our last fully online service, knock on wood, and the creek don't rise. So there's lots to celebrate. Last Sunday, many of us shared a wonderful evening together with our UUCUC coffee house. That was a delight. If you haven't had a chance to enjoy it yet, I highly recommend you find the link on our webpage and sit back, sip a coffee or something else, and relax and enjoy. It was a riot, and it was beautiful. Our gratitude to all the performers and all the organizers, because I know it was a lot of work, but it was worth it because we certainly enjoyed it. So take a look if you haven't already. Now, we have a very special opportunity this Sunday. This is our second Sunday of our generosity season, and we're going to have a bit of a love fest this morning with our church. We're celebrating being community together, being a congregation that is full of mission and love and companionship. This morning, we are going to hear from two of our beloved UUCUC members who will be both in the pulpit and also serve as our worship associates. Our Religious Exploration and Engagement Chair, Jenny Hunt, and our Board of Trustees Chair, Becky Densmore. Welcome to you both. We're really delighted you're here with us this morning. We'll also hear a wonderful generosity testimony from UUCUC youth group member Celia Balbiera, and thank you, Celia, for your message. Our thanks to each of you. Two of our songs for the service, What a Wonderful World and When You Wish Upon a Star, were specifically chosen by our two speakers this morning as songs that lift up the message of their heart that they are bringing with them to us today. And we thank them for that. I invite you, as you hear their message and then you listen to the music, let the lyrics swirl through your spirit as you take in all that they bring. And we'll close our morning together in our Generosity Love Fest for our church with a musical slideshow. This is a show that is bringing pictures from across the past couple years, highlighting the life, the mission, and the community of our beloved congregation. Thank you to the photo bugs among us who took those pictures that came across the years to us today. And I also want to say a word of special thanks to Jamie Jones, our office manager, who worked hard to create the slides, and our two musicians, Benjamin and Juan, who created beautiful music to go with the slides. I hope you enjoy. Won't you please now join with me with the words on your screen as together we dare to dream of a better world. We dare to dream of a better world for ourselves and for all of creation, as we boldly dedicate our lives, and our congregation to making it so together. Thank you. Our covenant of togetherness during these times. Together we say, with hope for a bright future, we come in trust. With love in our hearts for all of creation, we come in humility. Seeing justice for all, marginalizing none, we come in open-mindedness. With courage, we come willing to be transformed. With great joy, we come to bind ourselves to each other so that we might become able to do together what we cannot do alone. May it be so.
Good morning. As Unitarian Universalists, we light a flame at the beginning of our service as a symbol of our faith community. To this end, I would invite you, if you have a candle or chalice at home, please grab it right now and let's light it together. And if you would, let us say together the words that are on your screen. As we kindle this flame, we reignite our commitment to our congregational mission to build community, seek inspiration, promote justice, and find peace.
So I've been a part of the UU Church for pretty much as long as I can remember. We moved here as a family the summer before my first year of kindergarten, and pretty soon after that my mom found the church, decided that she felt loved and at home in the congregation, and started encouraging me and my older sibling to go. And I think the reason that I, at age 13, decided to become an official member and sign the book is really because of this profound sense of unconditional love that I feel from our church community. Now, I've been in RE for, again, as long as I can remember, throughout all these different lovely programs. And at the end of one year, I stood up in front of our congregation and I gave a speech about my beliefs. And I am an atheist. I was then. I still am now. And I stood up there and I told everyone that. I told them why I felt like in my heart and my mind that I did not believe in a God. And afterwards, everyone congratulated me and told me that they had liked my speech and that they continued to support me. And I think that's a really good example of what makes our church community so special and what makes it, in my opinion, so worthy of support. It's just this sense of come as you are, believe what you are, believe what you will, as long as you're being kind and accepting and interested in discussion and rational thought. And that is so wonderful. It really is. I'm in YRUU this year, meaning I'm in our high school program, so we have from freshmen to seniors, and I'm going to be bridging at the end of this year. I turned 18 recently, and this is my senior year of high school, and it really feels so wonderful to have the church community behind me as I go into this new section of my life. Because, of course, I can't see the future, I don't know what's going to come, but I know that our community is going to be supporting me no matter what. I feel like, as I have been in the past, and as I am now, and as I will be in the future, all of these iterations of myself will be at home in our church. And I know that right now, since we're all not in person, people might be feeling a little bit more disconnected from the church community, and that's understandable. But at the same time, I see these requests for meals for people that are struggling, and I see these great amounts of views on our stream services, and I just know, because of those facts, that people are still so invested in this community, and we're still putting things into it and getting things out of it, and we're all still supporting each other even when we can't chat over a cup of coffee after the service, in person at least. So that's why I think it's so important to continue supporting our church and continue donating, or if that's not feasible for you right now, to at least continue doing what you can, giving your time, giving your emotional and spiritual energy, because what we've built is so special and so universally accepting, and just such a wonderful support system in our community. So let's go into this new era of donations with joy.
Good morning. It is so good to be here in this beautiful sanctuary and sharing this time with all of you watching out there. It's good to be with you, even if it is virtually. The theme of today's service, renewing our covenant, renewing our faith, sacred connections. Unitarian Universalism is a covenantal faith. But what does this really mean? One way of thinking of a covenantal relationship is one of mutual commitment, which is characterized by shared values, open-ended commitment, mutual trust, and concern for the welfare of each other. In other words, it defines how we will be in community with one another. As we prepare to come back together again after this long pandemic time apart, perhaps it is the time to renew our covenant and remind ourselves that this is the foundation of our shared faith, no matter what our individual beliefs. I would guess that many, if not most of us, do not know what our congregational covenant states, even though we may have heard it occasionally. Our covenant states, "We, the members of the Unitarian Universalist Church of Urbana-Champaign, strive to sustain a caring community that promotes the personal and spiritual well-being of our members and of the larger world in which we live. To this end, we promise to participate actively in the life of our church, to contribute as we are able, and to express appreciation for others' contributions. We promise to join in shaping congregational life through processes that are open, inclusive, and transparent, and to support the decisions made by our chosen leaders and the congregation as a whole. We promise to celebrate the diversity of our collective experiences and backgrounds, including race, class, gender, sexual orientation, age, physical ability, and economic means, even as we struggle to understand those differences. We promise to express our differences openly and respectfully, speaking directly with those involved, listening closely, offering real solutions in ways that are constructive and not judgmental, and accepting conflict as an inevitable aspect of healthy relationships. We promise to provide an atmosphere for the minister to challenge us to think carefully and critically about all issues, thus carrying our congregation's commitment to the pulpit. We promise to respect our children, to encourage their development as whole people, and to teach them the values of our religion and other religions as well. We promise to welcome those who are new to our church and faith by learning about their journeys, by providing opportunities to learn more about us, and by explaining how they can become more involved in the church. We promise to support each other through life's up and downs by creating an environment in which people feel safe to share, and by responding to the needs of the members of our congregation. We promise to encourage one another in our efforts to promote social justice and responsible stewardship in the larger community and the world. When I arrived here at UUCUC, I had no idea what a covenantal faith was. I had no idea what UUs even believed. But I had been told by a member of the congregation who was a longtime friend that maybe this would be some place I would feel safe and comfortable believing whatever was right for me. I was pretty skeptical, to be real honest. All the churches I had ever been associated with basically told me what and how to believe. It was their way or the highway. But I trusted him, so I gave it a try. And here I am, about 9 years later, almost 7 years of being a member. Why? How could this church be so different? For me, it's because of what our t-shirt says: deeds, not creeds. Based on our mission and our covenant, we have created a culture of shared vision, a culture of friendship and caring, and are attempting a culture of inclusion and belonging for everyone. When I think about culture, I think back to the athletic teams I was involved with. A group of people that became family. When I think back, those teams functioned under an unspoken covenant of how we would be together. The biggest comparison between a team and our congregation is that we stayed in the game no matter what. I don't know how many groups I've been associated with that when things weren't going someone's way, they figuratively took their ball and went home. Covenant tells us to stay in the game. Now let's get out of our heads and move to our hearts. Move beyond understanding it to getting it. I love this faith. I love this congregation because I am treated like I count, like my beliefs and ideas count. like my feelings count. Even when we disagree, which of course we will, we still honor the person and their right to their ideas. As we move into our new ways of doing church in this waning pandemic, we will, I am sure, have some difficult conversations, each of us wanting things to be the way that is comfortable to us. There will be difficult conversations as to how to continue widening the circle, about our continued work in anti-racism, about our obvious accessibility issues, about how to be more inclusive of our young ones in how we do church moving forward. And of course, about our priorities and our budget. I love the wisdom and the passion that is found in this congregation. And we are going to need all of that wisdom and passion to stay with us in the game, to stay at the table in our endeavors of living out our mission, again, to build community, seek inspiration, promote justice, and find peace. We need all of the love and caring about each other as we renew our connections. We need all of the open arms that I found when I arrived. To greet those that are new to us, 41 new members is the last I heard during the pandemic. Wow. And those yet to walk through our doors. We need all of us, whatever we have to offer, to build a better future as we move closer to being in beloved community. Many blessings on all that each of you bring to our community.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry, I watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I'll ever know, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Yes, I think to myself,
Benjamin, oh my goodness, that was absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much. And Jenny, thank you so much for lifting up covenant, because that is absolutely beautiful and the absolute fiber of who we are. You know, here at UUCUC Community Matters, and to that end, we have a few announcements for you. As Reverend KB said, we do have an exciting thing happening next Sunday on February 27th. We will have space in our sanctuary for 40, I said 40, backstage passes. That is, you and your family can sign up to attend in person, with the understanding that some cords and cameras are cluttering up the view sometimes, and some pre-recorded online elements may not be available for you. You might miss out on that. But you know, and we're still working out some of the kinks, but it's okay. We're getting there. And we sure hope that you'll be here with us to enjoy the backstage. So look for this week's edition of E-News. Look into there, and we will have a way for you to sign up. So check your calendars, make certain you can attend. And I know we're going to have to roll out of bed early and not do breakfast while we're doing church, right? But it'll be worth it. Okay, also, please don't forget to plan to attend, if you can, this afternoon, because we are having a congregational-wide listening session. And our Board of Trustees, we're really excited because we want to hear from you. We're embarking on this incredible journey for our next settled minister, and we need your feedback and guidance and insight. So please do plan to join immediately after the coffee hour at 12:30. And one other wonderful piece of news, I sure hope you saw in our e-news edition this last Thursday, there was a little blurb in there. It was in fact an announcement about what was going on with our current financial challenges. Well, I'm happy to say we have real momentum, and as a result of you stepping up to offer generosity, we're looking at making certain that momentum continues forward. So please, thank you, and my gosh, you're awesome. And now, if you would, join me in being introduced and hearing from our newest UUCUC staff member, Jessica Simpek.
Good morning. My name is Jessica Sempek, and I recently joined the congregation as the new membership coordinator. I'm looking forward to helping newcomers and visitors feel welcome to become part of our community. My diverse background has led me down many paths, including counseling, healthcare administration, public health, animal rescue, and adult education. I'm ready to help those new to the congregation feel at home. I hope to visit with many of you to learn more about the church.
Thank you, Jessica, and welcome to UUCUC, and just know we are so glad you are here with us. Now, you know, we as Unitarian Universalists acknowledge that we are a part of a sacred web of life. And the web of our connections with each other, with the wider community, and with the world. Also in that spirit, each Sunday, we share half of our Sunday offering with an organization that is in alignment with our UU values. And during this month of February, the Champaign-Urbana Schools Foundation is the organization selected for our shared offering. You know, I cannot simply express and emphasize that access to quality education is truly an issue of justice and equity. And the Champaign-Urbana Schools Foundation is the only organization dedicated to supporting creativity, innovation, and excellence in our public schools. So please do be generous in your support of the Champaign-Urbana Schools Foundation this month, and the offering will now be received.
thank you for your generosity in this and so many ways. And thank you, Juan, for the beautiful music of the offertory, the Rainbow Connection. Sort of sets the stage for us. Each Sunday, we bring our individual joys, sorrows, and concerns to our time here together. Please bring to mind the joys and sorrows in your life as we sing our blessing song. Please sing along or simply let it wash over you. There is still time to send in a joy or sorrow to be shared aloud, and you will see the email address during their blessing song.
May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light that's within you guide your way home. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light that's within you guide your way home. May the long time sun shine upon you. All love surround you, and the pure light that's within you guide your way home.
First, in terms of a joy, I'd like to send out a big shout out to our wonderful BOT chair, Becky Densmore, whose birthday was yesterday. Happy birthday, girl. And we received from David Gross, Claudia and David had planned a 5-week winter trip to Florida to visit family, enjoy 3 weeks on a cruise ship, and then some spring training baseball. And we all know how Claudia likes spring training baseball. But it all fell apart. On the 3rd day on the cruise ship, Claudia tested positive for COVID and was isolated in a medical cabin. They planned to leave the ship today after 1 week on board, and hopefully are now driving home to Champaign. Let's keep both David and Claudia in our prayers today. And from Jim Hannum, we honor the memory of Laura Wetzel and offer our condolences to her family. Laura was a longtime member, and she will be missed. And from Jerry Carden, another one. We recognize the passing of our longtime UU friend and fellow gardener, Laura Wetzel. Laura did a lot of work for property and maintaining the church grounds in our early years of membership. She never wanted to linger in a nursing home environment. It was hard to hear she passed, but also glad to know she is at peace. Sometimes email is delayed, so if I missed reading your joy or sorrow this morning, know that we will make sure to have it printed in the e-news.
You know, over this past week, I've been sitting in the spaces of connections and renewal in an attempt to try to figure out what exactly do those words mean to me. And my reflections took me back to 2018 when on a beautiful spring morning, I first stepped into this church, this sanctuary. It was also the morning that the universe decided to give me a little love tap, in actually the form of a 1-2 gut punch, to remind me in the possibility of the divine and the unexplainable. You see, that morning on April 29th of 2018 was a worship service, and it was designated to honor individual narratives and sexual violence survival stories. The order of service the usher provided me when I walked through the doors read, and I quote, #MeToo, unquote. And I was quite literally stunned, because never in my wildest dreams did I ever think that I would go to a church to hear a sermon on this incredibly timely, sensitive, and potentially triggering topic. Further to my surprise, though, I was part of an experience of love as this congregation wrapped each other in love and support. And it reverberated from beginning to end. It was tangible, the love and the support and just the honor and respect to individual stories. And my friends, I will tell you, it was magical. And it was healing for me. So for the first time in my adult life that I could ever recall, I actually felt at home in church. I was comfortable. I felt welcomed. And because of this, I knew deep down inside that at that precise moment, I met my tribe. I knew it. And you know, words cannot adequately express how it feels when you meet your people. Am I right? I mean, people who get you, people who accept you, people who do not expect anything from you other than to be yourself, to honor your gifts, and to live your own truth. A community of people that not only invite you to the table, oh my goodness, they create a special place setting that's just for you. Ours is a community ready to meet us wherever we are on this road we call life. How amazing is that? Now, about that second little love thump from the universe. This happened shortly that same morning. So I made my way across the sanctuary. I found my pew. I found my place. I sit down, I leaned back into that pew, and what happened? I looked forward and up, and oh my. There before me in all of its magnificence was this rose window, and I caught my breath because there in the center of the rose window was a gloriously backlit, from the morning sun streaming in, was a phoenix, rising from its own ashes as it joyfully expresses its own rebirth. This was especially meaningful to me. And it was because it is one of the most sacred and meaningful symbols to me, that phoenix. It connects me with those things I cannot easily explain. And the reason I believe this is because at the top of Y2K, and specifically 2001, under the spiritual guidance of a shaman named Arrow Hawk, I participated in a 3-day, 3-night vision quest. I will save the particulars of the journey for another time, but I will share with you that this was one of the most spiritual events I had ever had an opportunity to be a part of. And a spoiler alert, I was gifted with a vision. My vision included a house burning down, and rising up from rainbow-colored flames was, yep, you guessed it, the phoenix. This vision became prophetic for me and my life because 6 months later, my 40-year-old husband, Brian, was diagnosed with soft tissue sarcoma. And just a few weeks shy of his 41st birthday, he left this world and transitioned to the non-physical. And just like that, I learned what it was like to become a widow at age 39. Clearly, our house, Brian's and my house, it burnt down. Our life, what we knew and what was normal for me, gone. Everything that was comfortable, familiar, normal and stable, gone. Everything was just gone. All this to say, I was not gone. I was still here, and I had to figure out as my next task, how do I go on living? So holding on to the belief in renewal and better days, I put my faith in that vision of the rising phoenix. I held on to that image so tightly when grief and loss and uncertainty would rise up and try to encase me in their grip. I refused to succumb. I refused to give up. I refused to let them win. Instead, I knew and I believed that just as that phoenix will rise from its own ashes, that I too could and would do the same. That vision was my source of light and inspiration, as you can well imagine, through some really challenging times. But you know, with great challenge comes great opportunity. And I leaned into those opportunities to try to embrace the gifts that the universe had given to me. The gift of the vision, that hope, but more importantly, the gift of my own heartbeat. That was 20 years ago, and here I am, standing before you today within the sanctuary of UUCUC, where my past came full circle that beautiful spring Sunday morning. I came to this church nearly 4 years ago because I was curious, but I stayed because you made a place for me. You welcomed me into this community. Now extrapolate that, and what does that mean, being in this community? Well, you know, if you didn't know anything about me, I'm going to noodle, and so I noodled a little bit. And this is what I come up with, so stay with me here. I believe the answer comes from, of all places, Apple's infamous Think Different marketing campaign. Now, the content that emerged from this campaign, mind you, it launched a movement, and as we know, Apple was pretty well catapulted to stardom. So if you will, please indulge me as I read a passage from this. But before we do, I invite you to sit back, take a breath, close your eyes, and turn your vision inward. And I quote, "Here's to the crazy ones, the rebels and the misfits, the troublemakers, the round pegs in the square holes, the ones who sees things differently. They're not fond of rules, and they have no respect for the status quo. You can quote them, disagree with them, glorify or vilify them, but what you cannot do is ignore them, because they change things. They push the human race forward. And while some may see them as the crazies, we see genius. Because the people who are crazy enough to think they can change the world are the ones who do." Unquote. Now please open your eyes and look around. Who do you see? I see you. I see the community of UUCUC. This is what I love about us. We are the dreamers and the doers, the believers and the doubters, the rainmakers and the peace brokers. We are a mix mash of all things wonderful and good in this crazy, confusing world. And in this world of incredible uncertainty, what I am absolutely, positively, 100% certain of is that we are a congregation on fire to live our mission so that each and every individual has every opportunity to step into their best selves. And that includes you. That includes me. Now I ask you, how much better than that does it get? Amen. Namaste.
Upon a star makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dreams, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star as dreamers do, fate is kind. She brings to those who love the sweet fulfillment of their secret longing. Like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dreams, no request is too extreme. When you wish upon a star as dreamers do, fate is kind. She brings to those who love the sweet fulfillment of their secret longing. Like a bolt out of the blue, fate steps in and sees you through. When you wish upon a star, your dreams come true. Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? Rainbows but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it. Look what it's done so far. What's so amazing that keeps us stargazing? And what do we think we might see? Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. All of us under its spell, we know that it probably magic. Have you been half asleep, and have you heard voices? I've heard them calling my name. Is this the sweet sound that calls the young sailors? The voice might be one and the same. I've heard it too many times to ignore it. It's something that I'm supposed to be. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. La da da dee da da doo, la la da da la dee da doo. I see trees of green, think to myself, what a wonderful world. Why are there so many songs about rainbows, and what's on the other side? Rainbows are visions, but only illusions, and rainbows have nothing to hide. So we've been told, and some choose to believe it. I know they're wrong, wait and see. Someday we'll find it, the rainbow connection, the lovers, the dreamers, and me. Who said that every wish would be heard and answered when wished on the morning star? Somebody thought of that, and someone believed it. Look what it's done so far.
Wow. Thank you, Benjamin, for the wonderful music. Jamie, for putting together the slideshow. That's us. That's UUCUC. That's what we look like when we come together. Thank you. Now, if you will, please join me in the words of our chalice extinguishing. We've been using this since the pandemic started, and we said we were going to continue to use it until we came together again. So it sounds like we're coming to that point. So we'll see whether this is the last time we use this extinguishing or not. So please join me. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.